There is a specific sensation that sets in almost immediately after a relationship ends. You feel a sudden, suffocating tightness in your chest. A heavy weight settles in your stomach. Your limbs feel leaden, leaving you with a sense of profound physical exhaustion. We usually categorize these symptoms as emotional overreactions, a frustrating rite of passage. The common advice is to put it in perspective, wait a few weeks, and move on. Yet, regardless of language or culture, we describe this experience using the vocabulary of physical destruction. We say we are crushed, shattered, or broken. Neuroscientists testing this language placed individuals experiencing recent rejection inside fMRI scanners. The resulting brain maps showed that when a person processes the loss of a romantic partner, they activate the same neural pathways that fire during a physical injury. The ache in the chest and the exhaustion in the limbs are rooted in biology. These findings suggest that heartbreak functions as a verifiable physiological event, a disruption of the nervous system as tangible as any other injury. To map the origins of this sensation, researchers monitored the brain activity of subjects as they viewed photographs of their former partners. This schematic highlights the pain matrix, specifically the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula. The nervous system uses these regions to process bodily trauma. If you burn your hand on a stove or fracture a bone, these sections light up to interpret that damage as pain. As the split screen appears, when the subjects viewed their ex-partners, their fMRI scans were nearly indistinguishable from those of a physical injury. The exact same regions of the pain matrix flared with activity. The human brain relies on a shared set of neural hardware to process both physical danger and social rejection. Because the routing system is identical, the brain cannot easily distinguish between a broken bone and a broken relationship. The physical symptoms follow the brain's lead. The heavy chest and stomach pain are the body's way of manifesting genuine physical pain in response to an emotional void. Evolution is usually efficient, which raises the question of why human biology would select for a debilitating response that paralyzes us over a lost romance. In our ancestral environment, the tribe was the only guarantee of safety. To be isolated from the pack was a fast, certain death. Evolution utilized physical pain as a brutal internal alarm bell. By punishing isolation with agony, it forced individuals to prioritize social connection to stay within the safety of the group. The agony of a modern breakup is this prehistoric survival mechanism misfiring. Your nervous system triggers a massive alarm to save you from a mortal danger that no longer exists. While biology explains the pain, it doesn't immediately explain the behavior. Even when we logically know a relationship is over, we often find ourselves compulsively rereading old texts or checking an ex's social media. This involves the brain's reward system. During a romance, the ventral tegmental area learns to associate a partner with massive spikes of dopamine. Seeing them, or even receiving a message, fills this chemical gauge. When the relationship ends, this reliable dopamine supply is abruptly severed. The brain is suddenly plunged into a state of severe chemical deficit. In neurological terms, this deficit is identical to the physiological withdrawal experienced during chemical addiction. The brain is starved of its primary reward chemical and begins to demand a fix. Checking a photo or refreshing a profile marks a moment where the primal, reward-seeking part of the brain overrides rational thought to hunt for a microscopic hit of dopamine. The behaviors we find embarrassing after a breakup are the predictable symptoms of a neurological addiction loop running its course. Inside the scanner, the heartbroken brain exhibits the hallmarks of both an evolutionary trauma response and a severe chemical withdrawal. We often use the phrase, "time heals all wounds," as poetic comfort. In neurobiology, the passage of time is a specific medical mechanism. This is neural decay. Over months, the brain physically weakens and dismantles the obsolete dopamine pathways that were dedicated to the former partner. Engaging in new experiences, forming new social bonds, accelerates this recovery process. The brain reroutes its resources, building fresh connections to replace the ones fading. True recovery involves the physical reconstruction of the brain's architecture until it can thrive without the previous partner.